going into tomorrow. So we'll start with the cues. Now, first things first, right? Out of the whole range, we're not out. We know that. You know that. I know that. We are, and however, out of this one, right? And we successfully pushed down. And I'm using this red candle here to my left, right? And I'm curious if we're going to hold our close on the 431 level going into this afternoon, right? And we're right now, as we speak, we're actually bouncing back up on the lower time frame. So for a swing trade tomorrow, right? Maybe a tough pill. Almost too close to target, right? Too far away from our trigger. And so the only thing left to really do is speculate on whether or not you're going to retest up here tomorrow, right? Which is going to be utilizing lower time frames. Now, I also thought that this was interesting. Right, so and just because you leak out of it doesn't mean you can't recover it. You left a gap up there today. So I might have to speculate on some calls, right? If you, and you know, this is again, you're in between two boxes, and that's the tough spot. The empty space has been filled up. So again, tough pills, but if you can afford it, I do think there is, you know, the potential. I don't know what news is going to come out. It looks like there might be something coming, right? The way that we fell today wasn't like crazy low empty space on a lower time frame, but higher time frame stayed empty. So other than that, your target to the downside is 424.44, and then the trigger for us to go lower, right, is going to be through that box and below that 409 floor. So today was the day to kind of try to take advantage of most of this empty space, and I think, you know, we were able to do that. If you weren't, you know, again, tomorrow is a new day where, you know, we don't have a terrible setup as far as where we can bounce and recover and gap fill or maybe punch down. So cues right now, I think is going to stay a little bit more speculative going into tomorrow. I'm signal based. I need candle closes. You know, 24-hour candle close is good, but it doesn't really give you a definitive empty space target. So, all right. So SPY. Now this one fell a little bit more dramatically today. Now I see, you know, similar to the cues, you still have empty space below you, but there's a great deal more. Right. You got a wick right here. So there's a 503. Target and a $500 target, right? Potentially overnight. This one, however, is aggressively moving down into where, well, rather, it's left behind some more empty space. So this one, I think, kind of gives a little bit more, right? $10 move overnight. That's not a terrible move on SPY. And again, we're going to see if we end up climbing back up above this 511 mark and closing green. I wouldn't feel super comfortable doing it, but if you close the way that you're closing right now, it doesn't seem like a terrible idea. And the good thing about this is it's easy to hedge, right? You can hedge for the worst case scenario, which would be the gap directly up above you. Same thing on the cues, right? But the long and short of this is you are in between this and that. So if you're continuing to try to swing down, not a terrible idea. That's a reasonable distance away, and you know, lines up pretty well. Wouldn't be a terrible area to look for a bounce as well. So couldn't find me this morning. I got banned, my guy. Somebody got upset and got sassy and started fucking mass reporting me or something. I don't know. All right, so I discussed this earlier, and again, when we look at IWM, you get a range break out of this candle here, but you don't really show. We're not seeing anything, right? Definitive. Trend wise, nothing definitive other than, yeah, if you can punch down below, you know, and I'd say the 2 hour is probably a better bet. If you can punch down and move below this 179.62 floor, As you move down to the hourly, it gets a little bit more difficult, I have to admit, right? It's basically sitting right here and you're chopping around cost basis. So actually, this is one of those ones where you're in a range, no signals, fully been given, and come on, damn it. The overhead is right there at 183.60. So, this one's a little bit tougher to make a decision on until you get that break. If you're already short, I get it, right? Good opportunity to hedge. Worst case scenario is we punch, fill gap, and fill gap. But this one does have some remaining empty space down to 175. So, what do I think about all these earnings? Yeah, we'll take a look at. Yeah, happy unbanning. Thank you. We'll take a look at the earnings here. If somebody could in the live trading chat post the earnings calendar, we'll take a look at the earnings for this afternoon. I never chart that one, man. Ever. Never, ever. Okay, so tomorrow we also have FOMC members speaking. Members, not FOMC Powell. Richmond Manufacturing Index, and of course the potential for Trump to tweet anything. But we don't have anything. Wednesday we do have flash manufacturing and services PMI. Thursday we've got unemployment claims. So, all right. So for earnings this afternoon, we have. That's a good word for it. Yes. I don't know what any of these are. Nor, if you don't know and I don't know and everybody else doesn't know, there's a good chance that there's no volume in all of them. So I'd rather look at tomorrow, which we have Verizon GE. So let's take a look at Verizon. 24, maybe weekly. Nope. Maybe a nasty decline on that one if it is operating inside of this channel here. But, where's the signal? Empty space up, so over 46. You would have like 49, but yeah, not attractive. Not going to waste my time on it. GE, although it does have consolidation. Some earnings hit bigger than others, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like that one. GE, interesting. Okay, so it's tough being inside of that weekly candle. But man, does that thing look like it kind of wants to, it's getting heavy up here. I don't know how much this costs, but if 156 was lost on that, or even 150, which, it's a weird setup. That's a long way to drop all the way down below that candle close, but eventually, that could be a good downside play. Let's see. That's what you're hanging on to. That previous wall over here. So I don't know if that's worth speculating on. It'd have to have some shitty earnings. I don't think I've ever seen GE move like that. The obvious, the simple, right? That's what we're looking for. Nope. I'm going off of my preference, right? If it don't look clear, not taking it. It looks like GE. Yeah, I don't really see anything in this one either. Probably new highs. Okay, so defense companies. That one could go and hit a high 46.75. How do earnings go on this one? Not great. Not great. Decent. Not great. Not great. Yeah, so indifferent on that one. Oh, that's not even the right fucking one. In fucking Pakistan. Let's see. That one's a little bit better. You got at least empty space up above you. Target 24 and 2470. weekly. Yeah. Otherwise, similar to like GE, LM, whatever, RTX, it's kind of got that weird range. So, all right. Yeah, if anybody else sees anything interesting, I'm obviously probably going to be a little bit more interested in some of these and going into later in the week. All right. If you have anything you'd like for me to take a look at, earnings looks less than interesting. Go ahead and post that in the chat bubble, and we'll take a look at it now. All right. 24-hour time frame. So you've broken down. I mean, it makes sense why you're bouncing here, right? This is the trigger. This is the box that you're trading in right now. So over 84.45, right? And clearly this small box right here, which is 870 and over 882, that downside ends up not as clear. So Kava up, not bad bounce, good fall today. What did you bounce off of? Can't really see it here, can't see it there. It's like here, maybe. Cost basis. Doesn't really feel like a solid box. One hour. Weird. I don't know if you're, I mean, you did move down quickly. I don't like this box that I drew or any of these boxes. See that pre-market box right there? You exploded, retested, and popped out, and you just blew over 3 retests there. So I would be looking to my left, right? And looking at like where you pause, and that's 81.13, which might be 50% of the whole move. So that would be step one. But most, if not all of this, it's going to be easy to recover. So if you're looking to the upside, right, you should have already taken it. That I think is clear because you had a box 1, 2, 3. So if you have already taken it, not bad. You've got a green candle here you're tapping off of. That's your next leg up, is above 80.40, and that's where you can see a nice strong move to 82 and beyond. So it does have a little bit of empty space, yes. SQQQ 24. It's a little simpler. So you're stuck in between 2 boxes. You tapped the floor here, 43. So it's like 43.38. That's where you need to recover that floor. You're waiting, right? Yeah, it has the setup to maybe go up and empty space 49.85. Or if this is a rejection, you have the potential to go back down 39.75. So you know, as far as a swing trade, yeah, not a bad candle close up against where your resistance on the 24. But yeah, I need to see that gap. A gap up would be really nice, and I think you could feel good about the move up. Surely my downside target for the Qs is 424.40, 424.50, right in there. Yeah. Oh, me and my cat just stretched at the same time. All right. KSS. Wow. What a box build. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You see how you make a big green candle and everything else is just a box in it? This is how ranges are established. So, I mean, the clear, yeah, you did bounce for the third time here. I would even be using like something, 2 hour, 712. But otherwise, I mean, you look good to go try to, I mean, you got a gap fill up there and empty space. So this, if there was any time that it would possibly go and give you a small reversal, $8 and 817. You got 100% today. Nice, Chunky. I think I saw you say something about that in the channel. That's fucking badass, man. Hell yeah. You said it was your first time? All right. Yeah, it looks all right. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking at. In the most recent price action, you have a small overhead resistance, and that'll get you where you need to go. It's right there. So you need to be above 702. Yeah. I saw. I just clicked on your name. Saw it. I was like, oh, okay. Kind of playing into what I said last time, right? Which was candle close underneath that 90, and boy, you are close. You got the gap fill right here at 88.50, and then another leg down all the way to 82.80. So, I mean, this looks like sellers are in control at the moment. Double wicks off of that thing. Yeah, PLTR doesn't have the empty space that we typically look for, but you're experiencing a pretty solid rejection there. So I just looked at RTX. Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, I think all defense companies have to see a major move down in order for us to see what, profits, because the weekly looks good, right, for empty space, and something you can set an alert on, but there's no signal that's going to break. So it's just purely speculative. So something terrible would have to happen, ADP. No, I'm not a big fan of the setups, guys. If you have greater insight on that, I don't see, I don't see it, I don't trade it. If I miss it, that's too bad.
Would you call it still in range right about now, everything, or no?
Yeah, we're still in range. Absolutely still in range. Yeah. The Qs, SPY, IWM, it's all inside of that big green candle. So, for the most part, yeah. Dr. Pepper. I mean, that is your third rejection. Now, I'm not exactly sure which direction you're trying to take this in. But when I see this many rejections up at the high, you're probably going to have to head back down. Now, empty space and stuff like that, you lack that. At 34.85 breakdown, and then you have a nice box underneath that, but it doesn't stop, right? Like on the 4 hour, can identify box after box. So these are tougher setups to trade 100%. Let's see here. Yeah, even that seems pretty damning. So I'm not too confident for a breakout here to the upside. Guys, today was good. I think today was a little gift. If it's not clear, right? If you've never felt how it feels to see a clear setup and trade it and just it works, like I think ANF and Schwab and a lot of Nike and a lot of these other names that it just was super clear. You just had to wait, or you needed to look for the candle close at the end of the day. Like, if you know what that feels like, then you know whether or not you're supposed to be trading right now. Right now, capturing these moves, in empty space, SPY down to 510 would be great, but right now I have to wait to see how it closes off the bottom, off of this bounce right here, because this bounce is going to adjust that daily candle close. But yeah, you're going to experience until we break this wide range that we created by dumping and bumping. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and the setups are luckily unified for the most part in the way that they're set up. So it's a matter of time. Yeah, take it like that's the one of the that's discipline, right? Like sure, maybe you take something and it gaps down overnight and you're like, "Woo," and you didn't have a signal to do that. Now you have a reason to justify doing that again, and then it's going to fail, and then you're going to say, "I'm not going to do that," right? And it's stick to one thing. That's just, I mean, and I know sometimes I can be perceived as probably a boring trader, or even other people on this app have accused me of like, just abandoning people at like 12. What the fuck did they want me to do? And like for the last couple of weeks, I've actually been here because the market has required that I've be watching. But yeah, I mean, sitting on the sidelines is tough. Especially if you miss a trade in this environment, you can't let that bleed into what you take going into today. So if being in between two boxes is not going to fit your risk, because it has, or you can't speculate on both sides, then yeah, better chill. Hold on one second. I had to grab a Neurogum. All right. Arm, Tom the Bomb. Not a bad close, right? Just like Spy. Just like Spy. Everything is the same. So it doesn't look terrible, right? We have this candle close over here to our left at 94. So you might see like some intraday back and forth there. And again, we need to see how this closes. Right here's your wall. That's 96.16. Not bad though. I mean, you're closing in the wick and you're closing on the hourly. So you can see how important this wall is. Stay under that, and I don't think it's bad to. I might fucking join you. See, hold on, one more thing. So close. So that 94 might come into play. We'll see if you get a little gap down there. Man, yeah, this is similar to a lot of setups. Let's see how that candle closes. Maybe. I like that it's locked down underneath, but one small move back up and you'll retest before you break down again. So day by day, for sure. What's your method for managing runners trail looking for intraday reversals? So what's my method? So as a stock moves up or, hits your price target, if your price target, which it should be, is aligned with something structural, you're going to see whether or not that price goes and reclaims that floor, right? So you trim, your runners are there, and you're looking at what's underneath you always, right? That is the method for managing any trade, is what is above and what is below. So say I'm short on ARM off the floor at 98, and I want to figure out whether or not I want to swing it. If it holds, right? I'm right now holding underneath that 96. I know, because we know that how empty space works, that if it pops up and holds that would be somewhere where I could set a trail. Because if I know that empty space is above me or below me, and this one price is released and that empty space is now vulnerable, I have to do what I got to do. And so when I'm managing my trails, I'm using what's above and what's below. What did we reclaim? If we lose it, where do we go? If we fall, then I'm out. Right? It's literally managing intraday, or just any sort of runners is It's the same as it's going. I mean, same for the upside as the downside, but you got it, babe. Okay, we shut that, or I'll shut it. Out. Skedaddle. I'll get that cleaned up. Am I short to tomorrow? Sorry, I'm trying to remember what I was just saying.
Swinging and leaving runners.
All I remember is something about when price is released.
Sorry,
And where
remember
you have your stops.
what is above and what is below, right? So right now, if you were short on arm, you would be using that overhead candle, right, and its candle close. Oh, but what I was saying is you're essentially looking for the play on the other side of the trade, right? That's why every single day I look at what's above and what's below, or what is the potential of us going up, and sometimes it's not there, right, or it's really far away. But anyway, Tesla, I'm in puts.
Get nasty.
Building a box around cost basis, which I think I've seen probably about 12 stocks now doing this. You can see that on the 15-minute very clearly. It's rare, but not unusual completely. So there's your box. You have empty space up above, and this could end up, I don't know, maybe at the end of the day, we see a rip right up into that 230 to retest the top of that box. But this is where a reversal can happen. You have two triggers, bam, bam, and then that might set. This could be setting us up to rip. Could be setting us up to rip.
You don't remember you were talking about earlier they were prepping for bad news. You don't think that's a sign?
What? But going up, like, what do you mean? Like the fact
Tesla
that?
was basically saying they were having a company update
Oh,
instead of earnings.
that's right. I forgot. That's right. Yeah, it's got earnings today.
Tomorrow after close.
Yeah, that's right. No, dude, you know what? It's hard not to see anything else but just a fucking meltdown.
God no.
And I've heard their numbers have been getting smashed all over the world.
They've been retooling for the new model.
Give you a new model.
Yeah, the European sales are down. China sales are down. I can't imagine the U.S. sales are doing too good.
They're
To
actually
see
doing pretty
today.
good.
Man, you can't argue with the Elon sucker.
You can't argue with logic, is what you're trying
Oh,
to say.
logic. You've got Stockholm syndrome.
You're fired.
Your captor. You're starting to agree with him. I could see a wick down, and then maybe you kind of, but fuck, dude. And let me guess, these are just astronomical. Yeah, I get it. Well, the 190s are only $200. Might have to just grab a couple of those. Okay.
It's tomorrow, right? The earnings?
I think so.
Or is it
Yeah.
tomorrow before open? Oh,
After
after.
close, yeah. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yes, we shall.
Did you say you're not swinging anything just because of how everything looks, right? Is that what I heard you say? Kind of still at work.
I haven't made that decision quite yet.
Oh, just wonder.
I do everything last minute. You're swinging this It looks both ways though. This is wild fucking setup. I can't lie. $25.90 is going to be the touchdown, I think. Yeah, it looks like $25.90. You might see some retest inside of the box, but other than that, I mean, it still looks down. So I don't do bear flags, bull flags, any flags, head, shoulders, knees, toes, only elbows. All right, let's see here. I don't even take into consideration. No. There's only, I think there's one pattern that I take into consideration, and that's the inverse head and shoulders. But it usually aligns with my strategy in one way or another. So, all right, you dipped, you punched down, and you bounced off of whatever this structure is here underneath you. Hold yourself back up. I mean, on the hourly, it looks kind of good. It's not the worst. It would be kind of nice for this to turn green for the end of the day and be above 365, but 365, and there it is, 4 hour. So your next target is going to be 380 on a break, if you can break. No, I'm not, Runs. Yeah, I don't give a shit about a head and shoulders. It's the statistics, right? The statistics behind each one of these patterns is, weighs into a lot on whether or not I'm going to even consider it. But also, I've been watching patterns, just like everybody else from day one. And I mean, I'm sure I don't have to tell you, but that shit fucking sucks. Plus, like, where's your target? Where are you taking it? Where's the, like, it leaves so many questions. It's just, I'm not here to harp on that shit though. You do whatever it takes. That's just how I roll. That's just how yeah, that's just me. My system has turned me into a fucking harebrained, not even conspiracy theorist, but I'm on one. Is that supposed to stand for Mexican Kaylee? I just see MXN Kaylee. You are holding cost basis, my friend, and that is essentially saying that below your today's low, you're looking for a move down to 151. And honestly, this would be I'll fucking set an alert on that right now. But since you're at cost basis, right? If you can bounce, I think we talked about this earlier, you have a gap to fill up there and an overhead to go and break at 162.50. And that would lead you up to a target of 166.70, which is right here. Am I waiting for AT&T? No. No, these are just requests from my Discord, guys. Nike. Fuck! Sorry, that just came out of me. Shit. Damn. How much you cost? How much it cost?
I'm fascinated by this.
Me too. $57.68. Gap fill runners, so we can play 58s, 59s. 59s won't feel the love unless you rip. If you grind, they're gonna hurt. So 58. So if 52 to $56 is in your price range, I mean, I don't really have a choice. I'm convicted. I'm not even hedging. Just taking this trade. Last thing that needs to happen here on the hourly, folks, and hopefully we can gap up, is just a move over 56.48 right now. I'm hoping that I just took this position. I'm going to use this 30-minute right here to my left. That under right there, 55.50. But yeah, that's me.
Daddy.
Jesus has risen, but the stock market hasn't helped.
Just give me my money.
Yeah.
Daddy.
All right. Who is going crazy on the soundboard right now? Walmart 24. This is gelatin infused pond water. Thick and stuck in between two boxes, or two areas of consolidation. I don't like it. So underneath 90, you have a trip down to this box, which is your ticket out of here down, or through this box, which is your ticket up out of here up here. So from here, 96 to 102, or here to 90, you know. So you're use that range as much as possible. Are you aiming for something? On what? Aiming. By the way, if you guys are on TikTok, if you guys don't mind tapping the ever living dog shit out of your screen, trying to help with the BAN, you know. DLTR held up today. So if you're still maintaining a position on that one, there's really not much else you can do except for know exactly where this thing cannot go. And it's telling you. It is fucking telling you. See it? See it? 1, 2. You're holding on top of that. So the answer is clear. If you're long, don't go there. 78, you'll be back at 75 pretty quickly. Other than that, we're looking for a fucking pop. You need that gap up tomorrow. So you have Dollar General? Yeah. I did take Nike to the upside. Yeah, I did. I had to. But I do want to mention, right, even if this trade didn't work out, do you see how, I mean, I know that maybe that's not the appropriate response, but do you see how, like, okay, I can see that so fucking clear. Empty space, the 1, 2, 3s, right? Yes, we are inside of a weekly range. I can see that, or rather a 24-hour range, which is, not my favorite thing, but the multiple bounces off the floor, the candle closes up against the wall. What other choice do I have? Empty space up to the top. It's not, now, setup-wise, 4 hour is still a higher time frame setup. So, regardless of whether it worked or not, that consolidation breaking and empty space above me, it's worth a shot. I'll be ordering.
What strike did you take?
I took the 58s.
You did take the 15s.
Yep. So, for this week.
Yeah. I was looking at the 59s because I'm like, maybe a little bit less, but I don't know. I think that was too, it's asking for too much, maybe.
Yeah. My stop loss is 55.55, 15-minute candle close. No if, no ands, no buts, no asking. That's just what it is. Tomorrow, if we gap down, I'll probably end up swinging something on SPY to hedge that right around that 500 or even 495 mark. So, although the IB isn't really dripping like it usually is, so you got to be careful stretching your legs too far. Hold on a second. SPY. Windows Wow, they're the almost exact same price as Nike contracts. Great. 497's got to be the ticket then. Use that as a hedge. Stay light on those. All right. 24-hour time frame. So on the 24-hour time frame for AMD, you are up against this candle close here. That's not your most, clear, but you are holding it. And this is why, tomorrow is really going to be interesting with that gap up above you, because there is actually a really good play to the upside on AMD. Mark my motherfucking words. Excuse my language. But if you can bounce here and recover and fill that gap, strong potential here. I don't know why the fuck I drew my box like that. Trash. Right? I think that could be a pretty nasty play too. So, either or. That cost basis, look at that, dude. I love my job. It's so easy to do your job when you're not full of fucking shit. Look at this. Look at that fucking cost basis going across the wall. 88.
Is that your trigger then over that cost basis?
100%. Good momentum, news, anything of that nature, gap fills, pushing over. Yeah. And if you miss that entry or you miss cost basis, you better not pussyfoot around the fucking 89.75, because that's your last shot. NVIDIA is going. That one has less structure to go off of, at least 24 hour, even 30-minute hourly. It on the 30-minute, it makes more sense. Looks like you just punched up through this box here. Could go and touch 97.83. So definitely got a hedge. Look at that bounce. I don't know. Maybe there's 5 minutes left. I don't know what we're about to do, but you might see a fucking 518 contract go from nothing to something. I wonder if it's going to do it before the bell. That'd be diabolical. All right.
Your puppy's up 20 points, puppy.
Yeah, I know. Arm.
We're moving.
Yeah, we are moving. Yeah, arm bounced. Would I take those puts off of this bounce? Not looking as juicy as it was. It almost seems like this needs to be retested first. One second. Real quick, by the way, if you are on TikTok, I got banned, so I put a 25% discount for people trying to join, but now I'm unbanned, so I'm taking that shit down tonight. Brother,
Is that a fake?
huh?
I was gonna say, is that a fake earnings tomorrow? Oh, that's a news. Never mind. I'm sorry, my bad. I was looking at that little logo at the bottom of your screen. Got it. Earnings.
Yeah, you think I got banned on purpose? Average fair value gap taker. That's the diabolical. Imagine somebody fucking pulling that shit off. I mean, I could do it if I wanted to, I guess. Pretty good at getting banned.
I don't think you could do it.
How do you take advantage of it, though, is the thing.
Just because I felt bad because I got banned right in the middle of the analysis, so I put a 25% discount. But yeah, I didn't think that was a marketing tactic. Maybe it is. Maybe I'll get myself banned on purpose to get people to join. Hey, that was perfect. There you go. I'm dead. Yeah, exactly. Dude, SPY. Is anybody holding anything on that? You're about to go to 515 here, right there. You imagine tomorrow we see a fucking giant green candle. Do I see more downside for the market tomorrow? So here's what I think is happening right now. Just by the way that we're ripping, I can't guarantee you anything. But if I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I can guarantee myself something, right? And it feels good to be able to know this. You will be coming back down to fill this empty space 1,000%. And whether my question is, the biggest question I have right now, is this a retest? Reeling in buyers for an inevitable gap up to be rejected, gap fill, and we flush and continue moving into the lows? That's what I think. Now, I'm not pulling that too much into what I'm doing here, you know, but I see that potential happening big time, because when you rip up fast, you got to have a good reason to do so, and you got to be grabbing onto something. And yeah, so if we rip this, if this is just sellers exiting, do you see more downside in the market? Did some news drop? It seems a little more than end of day trading. No, this seems normal. This seems like sellers exiting their position at the end of the day, going into the rest of the week. It bounced exactly where it was supposed to bounce. It built a box, tapped it 3 times, broke out, punched back, empty space. It's doing everything that it's supposed to do. I mean, the whole move down. What was the news? Was there news today of any sort? And did I miss anything?
World Economic Guy stepped down with immediate resignment.
Yeah, that doesn't fucking affect us. It's hilarious. Kimberly, what do you mean? It's just the spread. It's too late now. Hang on to your... Stop looking at your P&L. Your stop loss. Stop loss. That's the most important thing right now. And we made it through the box, right? We made it outside of the box. So now we can use this box over here to our left to know, not say, oh, well, if it, we know that if you lose 55.50, you're coming back down. So, but based on that 24-hour candle close, you know, unless this thing turns red tomorrow and flushes out, I don't mind taking this intra box trade that just happens to have a really clear 4-hour setup. And this is what we're looking at. So I'm hoping to see a boop right up there. And maybe we get that. That would be delicious.
Gary, did you say you took 59s or 58s?
If well, I took 58s.
I took a little bit of both. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
I don't know. I feel like I can fucking ask her.
God damn it, Jorge! Come on, dude. You come in here, ask a question, say some crazy shit.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I feel like I can fucking ask her.
All right. 2 times is too many. Anyway, TikTok. Look at my Japanese knives. Look at that. Anyway, have a good day. I don't have anybody else to show these knives off to. I will see you guys tomorrow at 8:30. We're unbanned, so but today was not bad. I mean, it wasn't the cleanest day. I got stopped out, which, you know, it is what it is. I got back in for a little bit more expensive. I think I filled at 28, then bought back at 34. But had a good day. Good move down, made some money. But you know, obviously I think the swing trades just aren't as clear as I would like them to be. Especially because we are in range. That's the worst part of all of this, is that, you know, market conditions are going to be unforgiving. You know, you're going to see little pockets of empty space. They're going to get filled fast. If you miss them, you got to wait. So, Dollar General just dumped crazy after close. Does that have earnings today? Dollar Tree didn't. But anyway, yeah, great day. I hope you guys have a good evening, and yeah, let's take this step by step going into the rest of the week. Yeah, no problem. Yep, you guys have a great evening. Peace.
See ya.
Thanks, Garrett.
Yep. All right, y'all. Peace out. The code for the 25% thing is in the goddamn free Discord, so you can check it out there.